Dr. Stevens, thank you for your support as I take over the role of Chief Physician of the GRE. While I understand the higher-ups need a scapegoat for the virus leak, your expulsion seems counterproductive. All the more reason to thank you for agreeing to review my reports before I send them to the GRE board. October 20th, 2021. A GRE report on the state of the epidemic. With the first cases in Zurich and Paris, the plague spread like wildfire. We're dealing with a variant of the 2014 strain. We call it tachytransmissive heron virus, or THV. It's deadly and highly transmissible. We recommend immediate action. All European borders must be closed immediately. All civilian air and rail services suspended. National governments must introduce civil procedures as follows. Isolate individuals thought to be infected. Quarantine anyone who's been in close contact with them. Issue shelter-at-home orders immediately. As for the dead, bodies should be incinerated. Implementing restrictions now will slow the spread of the virus. We need time to create a vaccine and have begun working with private sector companies. Our diligence in the coming weeks will decide on our fate. December 19th, 2021. GRE report on the state of the epidemic. Firstly, I must comment on the news report now circulating. It has damaged our credibility in the eyes of the world. Yes, the virus may have leaked from a GRE lab, but we cannot dwell on the past if we are to have a future. The data shows that the THV strain is far more contagious than previously known. So far, only antizin has proven reliable in stopping the virus's spread. However, we found in Villador the same results as in the other 20 candidate cities. The UV light affects the virus in a similar way. It stops the virus's spread without eliminating it from the body. Nonetheless, at this rate, in a few weeks, more than half of humanity will be infected. Accordingly, we must now enter the second phase of the protocol. Government should now outlaw the following. The operation of any business not deemed an essential service. Gatherings of more than 4 people not sharing the same household. Free movement by any civilians who are not first responders or essential workers. In short, we recommend that martial law be declared. We may still bring this situation under control.
Hello, Alice! I'm not sure if you know, but you've been in some woman's belly for a month now.
Some woman's? Why you?
Fine. You should be resting, Mommy, because you shouldn't be getting so worked up in your condition.
Come on, you have to take this seriously.
Okay, seriously. Alice, I'm talking to you from the year 2021. Your birth is 5 months away. Now, we wanted to record this memento for you so you'll have something to look back on. And let me tell you, we're looking forward to meeting you. You know, we've been trying for a couple of years. You know, there were complications. And as a policeman, I worked very long hours. When we found out we had finally been blessed with you. Better stop for now. Frog in my throat. Better not tell your mom, because since she got pregnant, she's had a hankering to eat strange things!
What's that, hon?
Hey, little Alice. I know it's bad manners to mention a woman's age, but sorry, you're really getting up there. You're 6 months old. And I managed to wrangle 3 days paternity leave away from the station, which these days is a rare gift, trust me. We went to a park today. Your mom found it extremely funny to splash me with the water from a fountain, repeatedly. I have a feeling you'll be just like her. I hope so. Maybe you'll have more patience with idiots than I have. At the park, we met some self-righteous jerks. They said we shouldn't have brought you outdoors. You could be exposed.
Come on, honey. They were just showing their concern. These are scary times for some people.
See what I mean, Alice? Mommy is way more a people person than I am. I really do hope you take after her. Your daddy is more the crotchety type.
Don't listen to him. Your daddy's a marshmallow.
Alice, I'm gonna be honest with you. Hopefully, by the time you get to hear this virus thing will be ancient history. But you, baby, you are your mom's and my future. And we love you. And that's all you need to know. So there.
Dennis, they're in the streets again. Another protest.
Ignore it, honey. My buddies at Riot Control will handle them. Captain Posner to Colonel Williams. Status report for Monday, December 16th, 2024. One of my men needed a doctor immediately, so I hurried to the nearest garrison led by Major Matt. It seemed the wisest course of action, all things considered. The squad doesn't know I'm working on a morale assessment. The news of General Pratt's death had little emotional impact on the men. They did not respect him, believing that he had lost control of the situation a long time ago and was unable to make difficult decisions. They have a lot of respect for you, sir. I've also spoken to Major Matt, but he's hard to read. He avoided mention of you, and that's significant. He has a group of loyal soldiers who are at his beck and call. He clearly revels in his power, and exhibits the behavior of a man who will always seek more power. Can you count on him? I will find out in the coming days.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Eugene Kirkland, chairman of the Dynamo Cars Electric Car Factory Workers Union.
Employees of Dynamo Cars. As you all know, the Council of Mankind issued a decree today allowing military to seize the factory. I'm sure many of you are concerned. It's only natural. Dynamo Cars is our home. It allows us to provide a home for our families. But today's action serves a greater good. A higher purpose. A higher purpose for us all, upon which the very future of mankind depends. In a time when darkness has fallen suddenly upon us, we have the power to cast a ray of hope. God willing, with your courage, you will make this your home again as it becomes a solar plant, providing the power that will reshape the city around us. I know what I'm asking of you. But as we think of you continuing to provide you work, you think of how you will serve your neighbors as you adapt to these important changes. It is time to make history. All of humanity is watching us. Let's get to work.
Widest variety!
Aiden, you've been around a while. You're practically one of us now.
Old Villador features the epitome of
Just 'cause you got
traditional
holes
urban
in your
architecture
shoes
and
doesn't mean you-
atmosphere.
If you've got
It is a
nowhere to lean
reflection
on.
of the epic history of our beautiful and proud city, nestled on the banks of the Tersawa River. Evidence of the area's first settlers has been traced to the beginning of the 9th century. The oldest district in the city is Horseshoe. During the later expansion of Old Villador, the growing city added the Trinity, Houndfield, and Quarry End districts. This last area became the primary source of the stone used to rebuild Villador after the Great Linden Fire. Though the quarry was shut down ages ago, you can feel how the legacy of its workers permeates the spirit of this place. The smell of sweat from powerful men with muscular arms, massive shoulders, legs like Corinthian columns, pitting their untamed might against the hard rock. Oh, those were the days.
My name is Anton Novak, and I'll be a fucking legend! Sorry. I couldn't help myself. I'm recording this for you, Pops. You wanna hear a secret? When you do, I bet you'll be ashamed of yourself. All my life, you told me I wouldn't amount to anything. But then I became a PK. What'd you do? Called me a traitor. Then Dad explained that the PK don't give a shit about us. The people of the bazaar. Thanks for the vote of confidence, Pops. There ain't no one I don't give a rat's ass about, Pops. I'll show you what I'm made of. Today, some guy I didn't recognize approached me. Said if I was looking to be a hero, I was looking in the wrong place. And that I have potential. I never heard that from you. Said to meet him on the roof of the old textile factory at midnight. And here I am. Like an idiot. What am I doing here? Maybe I wanted to show you. I wanted you to see. Oh shit. What the? Dude, jumping between buildings like a fucking panther. Fuck. I can't let him find me.
Come on out, kid. I know you're here. I'm killing you.
another lovely day in the great city of Villador. How did our fair city look several centuries ago? Originally known as Gressburg, a settlement on the banks of the Tersawa River, it received its city charter in 1033 from King Engelram IV, who renamed it Villador. Thanks to trade with the East Indies, Villador grew in importance during the 16th and 17th centuries, drawing in merchants from all over the world. The city's rapid expansion came to a halt in 1772 when the Great Linden Fire broke out. The blaze, which began in the warehouse of the Dutch merchant Jacob Linden, engulfed most of the old herring district and claimed thousands of lives. Yet, as the residents of Villador say, these walls shake but never fall. Even as ruins were still smoldering, reconstruction began, with the new Elysium district rising from the ashes. Built from stone, taken from the quarries of old Villador. Then, at the end of the 18th century, the Church of the Holy Trinity was built, a magnificent example of the neo-Gothic style. Look at the shimmering stained glass windows and prick up your ears. Is that the echo of prayers uttered by your ancestors? None of this would be here had Jacob Linden not had a thing for matches.
I'm recording this for posterity, so they can learn from my mistakes. To warn all who follow about the worst of plagues. And I am not referring to the virus. I was born into a very religious family. My earliest childhood memories? Prayer. Every morning and every evening. Knees scraped from constant contact with oak floorboards. When I grew up, I had a very hard time. I was lonely. I suffered. Despite my upbringing, I turned to religion for solace. It gave me the answers I sought. That I came to realize my father had tried to give me. To endure bullying is to earn heavenly rewards. God was my best friend, my only friend. I talked to him every day, and I believed that he listened to me, and answered, and loved me too. I felt like I owed him a debt. And that's why I enrolled in seminary. I think I became a fanatic, in a way. The urge to spread his teachings, convert others. It was not about God. It was about my own shortcomings. It was about me. There was something unhealthy about it. And dangerous.
I've never believed the night runners.
Set up a greenhouse yet?
You spend all
seeing you.
your time caring for her.
Why would you even say something like that?
Just kidding. You think
there's
we're
something
emasculated
wrong with
heavy?
me?
Why are you
Something
smiling?
wrong with you?
Every time I see
Girl,
you, you're worrying about
Don't look like much of a sinner.
and then everything works
For
out.
an apartment.
Really?
I know
we've
of
been
one
thinking
that's
about moving.
occupied.
Isn't
There's
that well
even a
nicely?
stove.
The electricity's
You're
starting to
so
conk out.
sweet.
At the age of 23, I became a priest. Still just a snot-nosed kid, and I was supposed to be a shepherd of souls. I felt I was meant for this. I had answered the call. If God was with me, then who could be against me? I was full of conviction, Faith that I could make the world a better place. But the world had other plans. Many times, I performed someone's last rites. I held their hands as they died. And in that last moment, in the millisecond before their last breath, I saw in them relief. Not because they were moving on to some kind of better world, to heaven, but because it was the end of something painful. They could finally bow out of the futile and exhausting dance of life. Their chore of living would be over. Their suffering would end. It was something completely incomprehensible to me. How can a person reject the gift of life? To accept death joyfully, for a person as strong as me, this was something very disturbing. Or maybe they knew about something that I had not seen. Did they see it in their last moment? This was the first crack in the edifice of my faith. And then, the epidemic started. There's a term for what came next. A crisis of faith. And with me, it started long before the epidemic. But when people started to turn into monsters, when city after city was eaten by darkness and poison, I started to wonder, where is God? Is he putting us through a trial? Or has he abandoned us? When Black Monday came, I no longer had any doubts. There is no God. There never was. Because of the THV Genmod bombings, 2 million people lost their lives. The streets carpeted with human corpses. What God would allow that? He would have to be infinitely cruel. Of course, other so-called men of the cloth offered nonsensical observations. That this was the will of God. Punishment for our wickedness. That Colonel Williams himself served as the hand of God. But that didn't matter anymore. The curtain had been torn off. People lost their faith. Because what were they supposed to believe in? No one wanted a God like that. And in that moment, to my own surprise, I felt free. As if I were a puppet who finally cut the strings that controlled him since birth. Free at last. After the Black Monday massacre, most people lost their faith. So did I. But it only took a few years before some people started to form cults that adapted elements like old deities and pagan faiths. They even started performing sacrifices, thinking someone would send them rain. People need shackles. They want to be controlled, lied to. They want someone to tell them how to live, what to do and what not to do. They prefer this to taking responsibility for their choices. Some researchers think religion is a linguistic virus that alters brain function and suppresses the ability for critical thinking. I repeated the same trite phrases for years, not thinking for a second about what I was actually saying. And what I was saying was mostly about instilling a feeling of guilt. It all dripped in evil, punishment, penance. Disgusting, oppressive baggage pressing you down into the dirt. But I tossed it off, as did thousands of others. The epidemic was a tragedy, but also a tremendous opportunity. An opportunity to fully free oneself from the bonds of religion. To stop believing in fairy tales and instead believe in yourself. That's what Francoise used to say, and I supported her vision. I joined her movement. Together, we can create a new community based on reason, mutual respect, empathy, and cooperation. One with room for everyone, including you. Captain Posner to Colonel Williams. Status report for Friday, January 3rd, 2025. As ordered, I continue my observation of Major Jack Matt. He's an efficient commander, greatly respected by others, and he runs a tight ship. When informed of a possible THV Genmod bombardment, he reacted with great agitation. He considers it too risky, not believing that this could be the last chance to save the city. Your concerns about whether we can rely on him seem justified. Matt gives the impression of being unpredictable and without due respect for chain of command. He barely conceals his dislike of you. I got some of his soldiers drunk and questioned them. Apparently, Matt thinks you've stymied his career. I don't know what happened between the Major and you, Colonel, but Matt has a deep grudge against you. Not only is this unprofessional, it could also be dangerous.
Fuck me. Hope it rains soon. Crops need water.
Used to live above the end. They were like 80 years old, but they were still
Take it
in
easy.
love. I wonder what happened to them.
Dear listeners,
I used to watch so many
you may
movies
find
in
this
the old
strange,
days.
but
Now I
to
couldn't
me,
name a single
this
one.
is something
It's
very
like the virus
important.
wiped out memories on
My
top of
daughter,
humanity.
Renata, is getting married in a week. She was supposed to get married over a year ago. She had invited over 200 guests. She was so happy. But then, you know, THV happened. We had to cancel everything. We were hoping that the GRE would get the situation under control, that the restrictions would be loosened over time. But as you can see, it's only gotten worse. Some of the overseas guests we invited, well, they're gone. In the end, we decided to hold the wedding with only those closest to us in attendance. It is very important to Renata and Waldeck that this happens. And for me, it's important to bake a cake for them. It has been a tradition in my family for generations. The mother bakes a wedding cake for her daughter. Unfortunately, a week ago, someone stole my hens. I realize that now most food, down to each small egg, is worth its weight in gold. But if some kind soul were to share some eggs with us, I would be eternally grateful. Stay healthy, Daria.
The little guy said he'd like a dog, and that arrogant jerk, my husband and your brother, says, here, you can only have lice.
Oh my god. He thinks he's so funny.
I have no choice. That's why it's attractive to so many.
I'd be afraid to spend all my money on crystals.
Why not? They're so beautiful.
If you can't eat them, how much are they really worth in times like these?
The little guy said he'd he'd like a dog, and that arrogant jerk, my husband and your brother, says here you can only have lice. Come on. By the way,
Ladies and gentlemen, the man you've been waiting to hear, Bob Cheatkim, candidate for president.
My fellow citizens, let's get this out of the way. I will make you but one single promise during this campaign. Read my lips. No more lies. Well, you can't read my lips. Obviously, you can't read my lips when we're on the radio. But as for lies, you know what I'm talking about. Every day in our streets and our markets, I walk among the people of Villador. Hard workers, whose blood, sweat, build the very foundations of this great city. But when we speak, I hear a terrible refrain. Mr. Jenkins, they say, I work from dawn till dusk, but I can't make ends meet. The president spends his vacations in million-dollar villas. His government spends billions on immigration, museums, libraries. They say to me, Mr. Jenkins, and I like them, you have to make it stop. I swear, if you vote for me, I will probably not refuse to do the opposite of that. But my name is not Jenkins. It is time for the people to take Villador back. It is time to end the lies. Vote Jenkins. No more lies.
Horseshoe is the oldest part of the city, with some buildings dating back to the 15th century. Its name comes from the shape of the walls that bordered it in the 17th century. The district is also home to the Water Tower, formerly the Bell Tower, built out of a military outpost. Its small, winding streets bear odd names whose origins have faded with history. It's the home of the last craftsman's workshops and antique stores, the spirit of a bygone era. The greatest poets sought inspiration in Horseshoe, and their souls soar above its rooftops still. Perhaps, brave traveler, you too will find inspiration here. Today, Horseshoe is a favorite meeting spot, especially for lovers. I, myself, once met a match from a dating app there, whose bio said he was a 30-year-old dolphin trainer with the body of a Greek god. Unfortunately, the man who appeared was a 50-year-old vacuum cleaner salesman who brought his mother along. The date was a bust, but at least I was able to buy the latest Turbo Duster model at a killer price.
Hello, my dears. I hope you are holding on in these difficult times. You're healthy and safe, I trust. I am. Life over the past 77 years has tried to kill me, time and again. I guess I'm immortal. I live alone in a large house. My beloved wife, Valerie, passed away in 2018. Actually, I'm glad she died then, so wife and my 3 granddaughters in Berlin. But I haven't been able to contact them for months. I'm afraid that they have turned, though perhaps they have gone somewhere and simply have no means of communication. Anyway, if any of you are spending this Christmas alone, I have a large pantry still full of preserves made by my Valerie. And I'm a pretty good cook. Perhaps someone would like to keep me company. May the Holy Child's grace shine upon you. God bless.
Hey, Pops. I just got back from training with Gillian. Says my body's gotta be strong enough for the first shot. I don't know what the fuck that's all about, but Gillian's a great guy. Kind of a taskmaster, though. Been keeping me at arm's length. I don't think he entirely trusts me because I was a PK. All I know about them is they are night runners. Yeah, them. The ones people are talking about, Pops. They help people. They fight bandits, clear areas of virals. Now, they really believe this world can be restored. And I'll be one of them. You'll see. Can you hear? That's the sound of the apocalypse. They laughed when I predicted it. But who's laughing now? No one. It's not like I'm happy about all this. But I warned you. I warned you all. You didn't listen then. Maybe you will listen now. This is Nathan, here to learn you some survival skills. The end of the world isn't an excuse not to prep for it. Start digging a shelter today. And build a well. My podcast tells you how. Get as much sodium dichloroisocyanurate and silver chloride as possible. You can't survive without potable water. Stockpile as many cans of meat and fish as possible, especially herring. Well, if you're a vegetarian, well, it was nice knowing you. Check my recipe section to learn how to prepare tasty dishes using earthworms and other critters once the
canned food runs out. Now, don't forget, you'll need to be able to defend yourself in the hellish afterscape. My 50 Deadly Weapons Made of Handy Items course teaches you how to build feces bombs and a sardine slingshot, among other weapons. With my help, you might just survive the end of the world. Stay strong.
A very good morning to you. In recent years, I have presented you recipes for such delicacies as Wiener Schnitzel à la bœuf stroganoff or guinea fowl breast stuffed with chanterelle. However, these are extraordinary times and it's increasingly difficult to find certain ingredients. Which is why I invite you to my evening culinary program, during which I introduce several exciting recipes of pandemic cuisine. You will learn, among other things, how to elegantly replace beef with raccoon meat in spaghetti bolognese. Make a delicious soup out of the glue scraped from the back of the street posters and bake a birthday cake with substituting half the flour with cluster dust. Remember, with a bit of willpower and imagination, almost anything is edible. Tomorrow, I will tell you how to prepare succulent rat in a natto sauce. Until next time, and bon appetit.
And Adam, we feel a bit silly talking about it, but we're looking for teaching aids. Pretty specific ones. See, with all this fuss about finding food, water, or shelter, our parents never really told us about some other, let's say, basic needs.
Right.
Anywho, we heard that older generations had all sorts of fun ways to satisfy this need. So we're looking for advice, ideas, books, if you have any, and accessories.
Adam's heard about this thing called BDSM, and he's been raving about it ever since.
It's BDSM, and you got pretty revved up about it too when we found those old pictures, I recall. Anyway, if you've got experience in these matters, we would appreciate the help.
Yes, we're also open to sharing experiences.
Not all of them, Claire, not all of them.
This message is sponsored by the government and approved by the GRE. Do you want to beat the virus? Do you want to save humanity? It's simple. Have more sex. This is the easiest and by far the most enjoyable way for mankind to survive. Have you done it 5 times this week already? Why not go for 15? Sex also has a positive effect on your overall health. It improves blood circulation along with your physical and mental abilities. We highly recommend the missionary position, as well as the posterior knee-elbow position. Gentlemen, improve the quality of your semen. Eat more spinach, broccoli, and eggs. For protein, insects are a must. Give birth to a beautiful new life. Let's make love, and let's save humanity together. January 24th, 2023. GRE report on the state of the epidemic. I'm sorry to report that infection numbers are going up, not down. The mortality rate in Europe has increased from 45,000 cases per week to 320,000. In Ukraine and Poland, the number of cases has increased by 400% each week. In Russia and Spain, healthcare systems are completely overwhelmed. Despite the mobilization of the military and the closure of borders, despite implementing containment measures in the 20 most impacted cities, the protocol is failing us. We now have to face the facts and admit that nowhere is safe. Russia's military has begun a campaign of genocide against those even suspected of infection. It pains me to say what follows, but there is little hope of survival for most of the world's current population. Thus, we at the GRE must pivot. Look at the bigger picture to prevent mankind's extinction. Speed up our action operating at the very heart of events. Enhance our efforts to bring humanity a cure. Start making immediate decisions. But also, and my voice trembles when I say this, radical ones.
Hello, my crazy crew. This is Siva. I have an amazing opportunity for you. A 3-year subscription to the most popular VOD service, whose name I can't say here, but you'll know it when you see it. For half price, and it's the full premium package. Add on to that a collection of the most popular lifestyle shows, including Lobster in 100 Ways, The Travel Channel, and Private Oases of Luxury. I don't think I need to mention a couple of adult channels. Access to all the latest blockbusters in 4K and HDR. Sure, there hasn't been a lot of new production lately, but that virus is going to peter out, just like the one before it. Stop thinking about it, just go for it, because I got a lot of people who are nibbling at the hook already. This special offer won't last long. Act now, and I mean right now, and I'll throw in a massage chair as a bonus, in gently used condition. Come on, give me a call now, or you'll be kicking yourself tomorrow.
Hey, Pops. I don't feel too good. Got that first shot today. Whew. Found out they had their eye on me for a while. Stole my PK medical files, found out my blood type. Then Killian recruited me. This shot contains some crap they call inhibitors. A blend of antizin and a THV derivative. They say it kills 95% of people who take it. That's why only a handful become night runners. The chosen ones. The survivors, they mean. And that means me now. Killian says I have one of the strongest metabolisms he's ever seen. Soon, I'll be like him. Jumping around buildings like a fucking grasshopper. I can imagine you shaking your head at all this. Especially getting shot up. You gotta look past that. We have a chance to make a difference. To be the light in the darkness. That's what Killian says. In a couple of days, we're heading into a dark zone. I'm not afraid. Not a bit. I'm looking forward to all of it, Pops. Just wanted to tell you that... Whatever, I have to go. Jump higher. I feel as strong as an ox. No, a fucking volatile. Killian says I handled the first dose really well. Now I gotta undergo 100 days of training. He introduced me to the others. I met Frank, our leader, and... I fucking talk too much. Killian officially became my training mentor. You'll hear about me soon, Pops. I'm gonna be a fucking legend! Hey, Pops. Today I was pulling civilians out of that dark zone I told you about. Killian. It was my first dark zone ever. It wasn't that bad. Except for just this one thing. We saved a mother and her children who got trapped in there, and I have no idea what got into me. But I wanted to go deeper. I wanted to keep going. Find one more family. One more child. Make sure no one was left behind. I had to make sure. Killian tried to tell me we'd cleared the dark zone. For some reason, I didn't believe him. We argued. In the middle of it all, a fucking viral jumped on my back. I thought I'm alive only because of Killian. I wish I could talk to you about this.